Local content increasingly travels through borders with audiences, but the local technology that powers it, not so much. A handful of global platforms still decide how content is discovered, recommended, and monetized. And that leaves Europe with a big strategic question. Do we build the next generation of our TV ecosystem ourselves, or do we import it? But momentum across Europe is accelerating, and suddenly the idea of a European built streaming stack with European AI and European data standards feels not only achievable, it feels inevitable. And one of the people shaping this next chapter is my guest today, Cedric Monnier, the CEO of Okast and the lead architect behind the Creative Europe initiative, ASAP4EU. Cedric, welcome to Media Unscripted.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Okast has deployed over 600 FAST channels across Europe, LATAM, and APAC. And when people talk about scale, they tend to point to technology challenges or rights. But when you're operating at this volume, what has actually been the hardest part to scale? Localization, distribution economics, or perhaps the good old-fashioned metadata?
Let me just correct a bit something, which is what we have launched so far. It's when we say 600, it's including OTT platform and fast channels. So because sometimes you have also fast channels on an OTT platform, and most of the fast channels started to be made from catalog on the OTT platform. So that's why sometimes it's a bit confusing. I think so far today we are around 250 for fast by itself, which is still anyway quite a lot.
Which is huge.
A lot of challenges. The first one, as you said, obviously, is localization. Because fast is an incremental business, meaning the more you are distributed, the more you may generate revenue and make a decent business, let's say. So you can have 5, 10 different platforms in the same country, but if you really want to get a bigger share, then you need to go to an extra country, another country. And then obviously language comes to the point that how can I do that? So you see still some channels with subtitles because it's a way to go there. And in some countries, especially in Europe, for example, in the Nordics, that's not a problem at all. They used to have subtitles. I can tell you, we're in France, I'm French. I can tell you we don't like it. It's changing a bit, but we're not the best for that. So you need to invest, obviously, a bit in dubbing, which is expensive, but AI now is helping out a lot on this. So the first is how you adapt. But then the second is obviously rights. Do you have the rights for this nice movie? Even if you have 2 or 3 languages, do you have the rights for it? And this is also how this is structuring the industry today, and also the players. You notice the big players, Banijay, Media One, all these guys used to have, because most of the time they produce by themselves, so they have the right to put that in the UK, France, in Germany, and they have the language. But a lot of channels at the beginning of FAST, I'm talking 4, 5, almost years ago, I was very smaller, individual, independent houses who probably just reuse some catalog they had in the past, and then you have this issue of the rights. And that's why you see now how professional premium channels are, with a lot of very key guys from the BBC, ZDF, and the other guys. It changed a lot from first years, of a few channels on Pluto TV and suddenly Samsung TV 5 years ago now.
Yeah, right. I remember when we were launching BBC Store, it was the first commercial platform in the UK with BBC content, and the rights we had an army of lawyers just to refresh this, not only for digital but for commercial. Yeah, that was the biggest challenge, I would say.
And we had some project with very nice IPs coming from quite premium studios, but we were not able to launch the channel because of rights. And you need 100%, 80% is not an answer. 100% on nothing. So, yeah.
But you're not scaling alone, which is just so encouraging to see. You're working with some super impressive partners. So Broadpeak, Rakuten TV, ASAP4EU, I think recently joined your ecosystem as well. And for me, it's collaboration and even co-opetition. It really does feel like the theme for TV going into 2026. So what have these partnerships shown you about the realities of FAST? What's working and what still could work better?
Well, partnership, it's how you grow a company. You can't do everything by yourself. And FAST is still a young ecosystem. It's in Europe, it's 5 years now, maximum. And everybody was really learning and working. And so just joining with some of the people, having a bit of advance on this, a bit of advance on that, helped us to go faster on different things. But everything rely, from our perspective at Okast, on the European vision of things. When we started this, we did it with a European consortium, which was called FAST4EU, where we onboarded content producers, technology providers, distributors from Germany, from France, from other countries, saying that there was, at that time, being platforms, most of them Korean or American in Europe. Most of the first FAST channels were coming from the US or English-speaking.
Obviously, yes.
And so we've seen this movie before, I would say, and we said, well, we have all the content. And you're coming to our countries. I think we can do it, and we should do it. It's obviously a sovereignty matter. It's also a question of soft power to be sure that we still have our internally and locally produced content on these new screens. The best was to find the right partners for some technology part, the right partner for the distribution, and also to really make the right connections with platforms. And we were lucky, and we're still lucky enough to have, for example, Rakuten TV, which was at that time being the only one European, etc. So I think everybody joined forces to see how we can propose the right content and guarantee that we can control that, we can improve that between us. And so that was a tremendous support from the EU by itself, because they bought the idea, and so we got financement, always good, but we got also a lot of marketing support, a lot of also lobbying support to the platforms, but also within the ecosystem, to telcos, to pay TV environment, which it was and still there, etc. So that's why partnership was, at least to us, the key to start and to strive this business.
And I think this is what I missed about being on the continent, even though very close to Britain, but is the air of collaboration and partnership and building together. And I think that is the strength of the European Union and Europe. And then you talked about the FAST4EU. I hear that then this followed into ASAP4EU, a different type of collaboration. You're bringing, if my research is correct, you're bringing together CDN, an independent TV OS, so Titan, and the major broadcasters to build a shared ad and content tech layer for Europe. So from a practical point of view, what has that consortium revealed about the building blocks that a modern FAST and AVOD actually needs? The things individual players can't solve on their own?
Well, the idea came from what we did and the feedback benchmarks, experience from FAST4EU. So we have all these FAST channels, our channels, the one we distribute, channels from our customers and partners, etc. And because we do the monetization also on some of these channels, we know the money, how it works. We have the benchmark, and we realize that the way it is done so far is not optimal.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same time, technology, as always, technology is ahead. So we saw different mechanisms, new mechanisms that we can use to propose a different way to do advertisement on fast channels. Just to explain in a minute, I will try.
Yeah,
if you watch a fast channel today, this is a linear TV. It never stops, right?
Yeah.
You need to have, required by platforms, Samsung, Pluto, whoever, you need to have 8 minutes of advertisement time, because this is the only way to make money. It's advertised, right? So it means that every 5-10 minutes, whatever, you have an ad break, and you reserve 2 minutes, for example, for this ad break, and the platform adds an ad. Unfortunately, the market in the US, in the Europe, at least is not strong enough to have 100% of replacement. So you have 2 minutes. You will have maybe 1 minute with ads, okay, but you have 1 minute left, right? And because this is linear, you need to have something. So when we build the channels, we prevent that by putting some, I would not say dummy video, but what we call feeders, or we call some auto promotions, etc. And then you watch the TV every 5 or 7 minutes. You're interrupted. Maybe you have an ad, or you have an auto promotion, and then again. Maybe in a couple of years, the market will be really stronger, CTV market with really good fill rates, and you will no more see any dummy or auto promotions, which are always the same. But from the last 3 years, what we see is people feel that these channels are not very good. The content are good, but I'm always interrupted for nothing. And so the core fundamental of what we do with ASAP4EU is to say, what if we do not interrupt anymore?
Yes.
You watch something, you like it, etc. But we need advertisement. So what we're saying is, when we want to put an advertisement, the first thing is please check if you can have advertisement. If you don't have, coming from ad servers, if it doesn't work, there is no offering here.
Don't interrupt.
Keep going. Okay. When there is an ad, instead of interrupting, in fact, we use interactive formats, L shapes, and so we resize the video player. We shift it in a corner, for example, and the room left. This is for advertisement. So you can still watch what you like. There is an advertisement. And when there is an advertisement, because everything is contextual, that should make some sense.
Oh, that's amazing in my ear.
Things. So we try that in different countries. So we work with Titan OS, which is a TV OS. We work with Impresa in Portugal, which is a big broadcaster. We work with APAC, which is a technology partner with us in this. And we tried also, for example, on platform with Bouygues Telecom in France. And we had tremendous feedback.
Yeah, especially from audiences, I would imagine.
Because the audience, anyway, they watch longer because there is no interruption.
Yeah. And you've got attention, which is just the currency. You have higher attention, you have less ads, but you have way better in terms of CPM, so revenue, money for the ads. And all in all, people have a better feeling for the channel by itself. It increases the brand awareness and notoriety. Because this is a channel I can watch, I can have fun. There is ads, it's no big deal, and most of the time they make sense. It's better for everyone, for audiences, for brands, and you guys don't feel the space with any inventory, which doesn't monetize
Exactly.
for the sake of a
And
gap.
it makes, last thing is, as an editor, it makes the scheduling way better and easier because you do not have, to put all these dummy minutes for that you don't know what will be watched at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that's the big idea that this is what we do, and so this is a European project.
That's
We got
fantastic.
finance for that, and everything rely, because we really believe in it, rely 100% on standard things, meaning there is no proprietary technology. We use a technology called CMID, which has been designed by the AIB, the guy designing whatever happening in ads. And everything else we have added, we put it in open source. So you can integrate the things, etc. And this is how we build somehow a backbone for everybody: open technology, then open data, and a better user experience. And now we are onboarding more and more the ad tech guys going to the demand side, because this is a new offering. You have a GL, whatever form, etc. And you can go even further, which is extremely exciting. You probably saw some first announcement in the market that obviously AI can generate the ad.
Well, that was going to be my next question. The obvious next question is, where does AI actually fit into the future of Okast,
In a lot of
ASAP,
places.
FAST?
In a lot of different places. If you check the value chain, really at the beginning of the value chain, so you get the content, which is a video file, let's say. We use AI, obviously, to detect what could be best moment to present an ad. So this is done by AI, understanding the content by itself, and this is between two different scenes. No harm if you want to present something at a time. Even more with ASAP4EU and this different way of doing ads, it's completely dedicated to scene understanding, and this is a scene which is in a bar or whatever, for example. Maybe you can have things linked to different products because this is what you have on the screen.
You're live in addressable, so you can put the
You prepare with the AI system during the ingestion. You prepare, in fact, when there is interesting moment to put an ad. If it goes the old way, then you will do an insertion at this place, but it's a good moment for that. If this is a new way, you will then try to have an H shape or whatever, to do that. But you build a context, meaning a list of different information, keywords most of the time, explaining you why it's the right moment. And then you pass over this information to the ad technology, where they can then get the best brand matching with this context. And then you can have a higher buy, because this is everything I see on screen makes me thinking about this brand, because I know where it is located.
Contextual advertising is so powerful.
So this is the first step, where we do that, but it could also help in increasing the video quality sometimes. It also obviously helps producing subtitles or dubbing. Back to our first question about, scaling. So it's really completely on the full value chain. We use it also when you are on a video streaming platform, when you have 10,000 content, obviously recommendation, and understanding what people are doing, how they will watch things. We used to have recommendation engine for ages, right? But with AI, it's a new paradigm, how you really understand the content and how you match with people behavior, and the fact that you can also, as an end user, you can prompt what you would like to watch.
The true personalization at last.
Exactly. We just started a new European project, a third one that we got validated a few weeks ago, which is 100% about that. how can you prompt and how you help people to prompt, because some depending generation, nobody is already completely at ease with that. But we are building really, and it's not any more recommendation. It's more an open discussion to suggest you something to watch based on how you interact with the machine.
Brilliant.
And this is completely independent of keywords or everything we were using in the past, because with multimodal AI, you can have an understanding totally different than what we have before, which were tagging content.
Yeah,
don't use any more
metadata,
tags.
as far as
It's
I'm
over.
concerned, the old-fashioned metadata is now
Exactly, it's over.
semantic discovery. It's about, I think that we actually been brought together by discoverability. I wrote an article, and that's how we got connected. When I hear that actually you're doing this in real life, with all your content, it's just so encouraging. The innovation, it's developing so fast, and so
No, it's insane, especially with AI. It's going extremely fast. So to see things, to prove things, because it's not a fad, but you have part of it which is a lot of noise. We try to use really things that make sense, that can help our customer either to save money, always a good idea, or obviously how to make more money by improving user experience, viewability, how long you watch something, etc. So this is different part of the systems embedded in an overall system.
So I wanted to ask you, is what measurable lift are you seeing from AI across the ecosystem? Is it efficiency? Is it retention? Is it revenue? How do you measure that what AI brings to your game?
I think it's pretty easy today to measure efficiency and how better a content is analyzed and qualified by AI versus how we used to do that with the keywords or whatever. It's faster, it's more accurate most of the time, and it's give us different perspectives how to process and use the content. So on efficiency, no discussion. It's really a boost. Regarding the fact that we can have more and more very good dubbing done by AI, efficiency, but also obviously, I should not say that for the company doing a dubbing. Obviously, they're doing fantastic job, but in different situations, the AI job is could be good enough. And then this is time saved, but obviously a lot of money saved. And the time that you can have in time to market, maybe you can go to Germany and Poland, maybe, with a good enough dubbing in a couple of days, where before it was high budget and quite a long time or so to find proof everything. So to me, it's a mix of different things. The money it makes, it brings you directly or indirectly, but also all the new idea, the new system, the new features that it can bring us, where here it's more a playground. Still, everybody's toying with AI, and what could be the next very smart thing we can do with that, which is extremely cool for our tech teams. They're so happy.
Yeah, I think it's great that it's AI. It moved outside of experiments and the proof of concept. It's it's real, and it's so great to hear all those practical examples from you. But we touched on, we touched a little bit on the ASAP4EU as a practical collaboration to build the sort of the technical building block of FAST and AVOD. But I feel, and I understand, and I got this feeling that ASAP4EU is also something much bigger. It's one of the perhaps first attempts to define what European streaming backbone looks like, and you touched on this, but how do you see ASAP4EU positioning Europe in relation to the dominant, all the big US streaming stacks? Not in competition, but in building an ecosystem shaped around European values, infrastructure, and actual market realities that are so different.
Well, that's that's a bit of a challenge, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Everything relies on partnerships. So we are extending. So we have new partners joining us from different countries. There is a part of the Europe instances by themselves, how they do support it, how they present it, how they speak about it to different agencies. You have a lot of agencies in different countries. But I think it's just the proof is in the pudding. You start with one country, you show it works, it's transparent, it's open source, you can use it on your site, and there is some economy building it up on it, and one after one. So could be a long haul. It's a 3 years project, so we just started year 2, and probably second half of year 2 and 100% of year 3 will be about scaling it. So this is how we will expand that over time, I think. And we have more and more even non-European organizations that would like to join.
Of course.
Just to extend, because every time we talk about European, we're talking about what's happening in Europe, so our culture, our sovereignty, but obviously everything from Europe that we bring to outside of Europe, the US, Americas, Asia, etc. And because we are just channeling the culture somehow. And so we have very good relationship with in Asia, even with China, which wants to propose also different things. And the idea is always the same. It's either we start a big fight and competition, and we're doing like tariffs, let's say, or we talk and we exchange. That's why we put things in open source and we use standards. It's somehow easier just to do all things, and then trying to sell your thing. But people should not be locked in on what I do or what some of our other partners do. It's really, as you say, it's the backbone. So you have APIs and happy to extend it, happy to bring new formats. We're discussing with different people to have more interactive formats, different forms of interactive formats, how we bridge that to retail with Shoppable, for example. And then you bring different people on the table.
And do you see that perhaps the next wave of streaming growth could also come from markets like Poland, Czechia, the Baltics, rather than the traditional Western hubs?
I truly, honestly believe that. We have discussion with some channels in Poland, how they can, because our heritage from FAST4EU is also we are distributor, meaning we put channels on different platforms, more than 80 platforms. So we have channels coming from Poland, coming from Czech Republic, from different countries that obviously would like to be available on these big platforms, but also on some smaller platforms, because it makes sense in terms of sometimes diaspora or language in common, history in common, etc. And so as a distributor, we can put the channels there. So yeah, but it's coming. Nordics, it's exactly the same thing. We are a big continent and free circulation. So we can really do interesting things here, as long as we are not standing up on private proprietary technology and specific metadata that I'm the only one and you need to go through XYZ to do that, etc., etc. As long as we put walls between us, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, and that's a huge strength, I feel, of Europe. And that brings me also to another of the Europe's defining strengths, I feel, compliance. It used to be seen as overhead, but it's increasingly becoming almost like a strategic foundation for how platform personalize, recommends, and build trust with audiences. So hence, I guess your partnership with ASAP4EU, that I actually adore, they design.
It's exactly the same thing,
Do you think that compliance is now becoming a sort of almost a strategic advantage of Europe?
Yeah, 100%. We, as a company, we won different deals because of that. Not only, obviously because of that, but in competition with somebody else, the fact that we are 100% European, everything is running, performing, stored within the EU with different CDN providers, different cloud, etc., etc. But we are really on sovereignty. And the fact that we can trace back everything and we don't do everything by ourselves, or it's always, who said it's true? Myself. Okay. We said, no, you need a consent management platform because this is a foundation of our regulation. This is how you establish the beginning of trust with the end user. So should I do it by myself on my own platform? Sounds weird. So we found one good CMP provider, which is French, okay, but so that's
European.
But we are European, and so they have been certified by all the different instances, so they do the job right, and everything again within Europe, and we transpose to the US after that with the local regulation. But yes, saying that everything is taking into account as regulation, sovereignty, security, to me this is how we convince people that they should do it with us versus whoever else.
Yeah.
That maybe is not there yet.
I think it's important to get the audiences on board as well. So it's not just regulation, but I think that people are, the audiences are more savvy about their privacy.
Yeah, totally. And EU did a good job. I think in every country within the EU, every government really worked on it, applied, put some rules. In France, we have a lot of different things. We have laws from very old time, like CNIL in France, which is probably the oldest one, but taking care of privacy on the so-called internet at the time being, you see. So, no, I think it's extremely important. Some people, when they arrive on an app or a website, they don't see anything about that. They feel, what? That's weird. So sometimes, yes, it's a bit annoying, always cookies. Yeah, okay. But it means that everybody thought about it and give you the freedom to decide.
And accepts you made it even beautiful and designed. So
yeah, exactly.
Love.
yeah.
Thinking about a little bit about the future and the sort of next chapter of FAST and the European unity around the TV, fragmented TV ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see the hardest gaps and challenges to achieve further growth? Is it data access? Is it technical infrastructure, fragmentation, talent shortage around AI?
Fragmentation is the biggest issue today. Technology is here. It works. You can balance costs different ways. I don't think there is any limitation with tech. And AI is just improving and opening new doors. But at the end of the day, people do not have extra time to watch. You still have 24 hours per day. So the time they spend on the screen is extremely precious. And fragmentation means how can we get back people from social networks to platforms? Could be fast, could be OTT, could be whatever somehow. Could be even YouTube today, which is on the big screen. The time is how can we really get back people on content which are coming from the entertainment industry. It's good to have things on social. You have very good things on social, but everybody can see it. It's completely unbalanced today, and young generations are even more on these platforms than the others. All these platforms are not regulated. They are not really participating to a protection of content as we used to do in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So this is more my EU hat. Somehow, there are we need some regulation for sure, because it's really unbalanced and unfair today competition, because big part of the industry, let's say official industry, is at risk, and so because the fight is not balanced. And second is obviously now people have a so large offering.
Yes,
you have
content is everywhere.
you go to a FAST platform, you have 200 channels minimum in Europe and 2,000 in the US. So the offering is gigantic. Time is limited. That as good time with right content, everybody's happy, generates revenue for everybody. Complicated, and fragmentation really makes that even more complicated. I have a very good example, if I may.
Yes, please.
So it's a French one, but anyway. So you can transpose that in any countries. In France, like in any countries, we have local TVs, meaning a TV, which is about sometimes a city or a region or a province, a lander in Germany, etc. All these channels have been there for sometimes 25, 30 years. They were broadcast, and they moved to internet because internet is there. And they have strong audience. But with the fragmentation, people are less and less going there. The big platforms, the fast platforms, ignore them. The BVOD platforms are maybe have one or two because they are also owning it. So makes sense to have it. But you have this, and I see exactly the same mechanism in Spain and in Germany. All this very qualified and loyal audience has less and less opportunity to watch that because it's not represented everywhere. And this is more and more again challenged by social and the other things, etc.
Did it all go to YouTube?
What is the economy? For a local TV channel, you don't really have an economy on YouTube, So, and because they are local, they are private. Most of them are private, etc. But this is a tremendous quantity of content and the proximity, and also part of every country's culture, from east to west. Everybody has a small corner differently. So what they did is they decided that they will all join together. I'm talking about 20 channels. They all join together under the same roof.
Makes sense.
And to build a platform, which is mingling after that how you get access to. So could be AVOD, could be FAST, could be also VOD, etc. Because people have different usages. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
But you are mingling, so you are picturing from local stories to a global, national, with a platform audience. And I think this is very smart. And it is how you can solve part of the equation, because anyways, they are adding their audience. So you are accumulating every pieces of each department in France, so it makes quite nice audience at the end of the day. And you can circulate the audience because everybody's travel, I live in Paris, but my family is in Normandy, so I go there, it makes minimum 2 different channels. So you have things in common. That's how maybe people can really solve the situation.
Yes, and you've got also
taking it by themselves,
the scale, but then you can nowadays the advertising can be very sort of micro local. So,
exactly.
But you've got the scale of distribution and delivering.
Exactly. You see, when you are a small local channel in one city, you can get advertisement at a local level of SMBs.
Yeah.
But you have retailers, for example. In France, we have Carrefour. Retailers, for example. They are nationwide, but they are local. You have one in almost every channel, every city, sorry. So you can have leverage from local to global. Makes a lot of sense. It's going to be rolled out next year. So, obviously, France, we have borders in common with Italy, with Germany, with Switzerland, except if you, obviously, when you are living close to Switzerland, you go there oftenly. When you are living very close to Italy, you go there. So you know a bit part of the culture there. You're probably interested of what's happening in Milan because you go there, or maybe you just go every year in vacation there, etc.
People living in Poland, in Poznan, they actually go to work in Berlin. It's only a couple of hours drive.
Yeah. So this is how we can embrace people.
I love it. Oh gosh, I'm so okay. It's been only a week in Warsaw on the continent.
Yeah.
But I feel this buzz. I may be in denial. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe because it's cold. Let's wrap with a quick rapid fire round. Yes. Please answer with one sentence or one word, if you can. The biggest misconception about FAST today? Oh.
Not an easy one. I will say it differently if you allow me. We used to say FAST TV. People just remind FAST and they most of the time forget TV. What do I mean is a good TV channel, it does exist for ages, right? Broadcast, whatever before, is the right grid, the right content at 8 p.m., the right content at 6 a.m., etc. This is structured. And a lot of fast channels, and it makes for some, but have a single loop of the same things and go on, and they don't really work on this. A successful TV channel, fast or not, fast is a delivery.
Yeah.
First of all, TV. And now when you are on the TV, and sorry, I'm not short at all, but if you are on the Samsung TV, you don't really know the difference that it's a fast or not fast channel. It's a channel.
The audience, you shouldn't.
You want to watch it or not, you see? And this is maybe something which is oftenly forgotten. This is, first of all, TV.
That's a good one. One innovation that genuinely excites you personally?
I don't want to go too technical, but so AI is everywhere. You have Gemini, ChatGPT, all these different things. A very recent things happened in the industry, which is called MCP, which is a way to make this AI communicate between themselves and communicate also with other things. Could be the old internet world, you know. It's a bit like the API between AIs and between the world.
So it's like
this is what leads us. Yeah, and this is what leads us to agents. So the agentic now part of AI is can really do very interesting things with that.
Yeah, that's which I'm started playing. I'm a bit of a nerd, so there's nothing too technical you can tell me. But okay, we have to worry about our audience. But yes, I started actually building my own little chain of agents for very minute tasks. But this is
exciting. But this is how you avoid to have again walls between different systems, so everybody can communicate. It was everybody in his own castle, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, etc., and now everybody can communicate and include other people. That's for me brilliant.
It is. Well, you are a super collaborator. I'm collaborating.
Yeah, you know, to me, it speaks to me a lot.
But Cedric, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the work you're doing to help shape a truly European future.
Join us. You know, it's really everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.